I mean, listen, I'm the one, I started saying brutal. That was like years ago before it became catchy online. Um, and it's affected almost everyone. Like, it's just the staff, players say it, staff says it, like recruits say it. I mean, it's just such a perfect word when somebody isn't acting the way you want them to act, or when things aren't going well. I think just saying the word brutal, it just tells the story. It's how things go. It's brutal.
So when Jeff Goodman quotes an unnamed coach with the word brutal in it, it's not necessarily you.
No.
It happened last year. I was like, I wonder.
No, it doesn't. No, that definitely, because it spread. It spreads.
Uh,
I don't know.
Olivia Rodrigo for that.
Yes, it spreads. Unbelievable.
Are things a lot less brutal these days?
Well, I mean, I think getting ready for the season, certainly a lot more urgency. The closer you get and you start playing, some of the close scrimmages, I think it starts to come into a little bit sharper focus. The best direction. So I think like these practices, obviously, it's a time for like separation, and then you play the scrimmages on the weekend, and you get a sense of a sense of your best direction by playing a lot of different combinations of guys, experimenting with a lot of things, giving a lot of guys minutes. So yeah, I mean, it's some great learning opportunities, like with what we've got coming up and what we've done.
So has there been some separation? Like some guys separated themselves, and do you have like in your mind the starting five, the next five, that kind of thing?
Yeah, I don't think we're at the point of this, where we have starters. I feel like, we have a great idea of what we want to do defensively, the different ways that we want to approach that into the court. With being able to mix up, our ball screen coverages and doing some different things with pressure. With the different lineups where we play big or small, we're obviously have a way that we're going to want to play and attack that way. But yeah, I mean, it's once we get through these two, the two scrimmage situations, and you have enough data and evidence, we come out of that and you move forward.
What did you see from your team in that first scrimmage?
I mean, it was first of all, like, being able to scrimmage against Harvard, it's such a good opportunity because, Tommy's one of the best coaches in the game. They play a motion offensive style too, so it puts a lot of stress on the defense. So like you get exposed for what you're not doing well, and then for us again, he's like, I think we played 10 guys. No one played above 25 minutes for us, and we played, we got to pretty much, played 12 guys, and probably 10 of those guys played close to 10 minutes or more. So like we got 10 guys between like double figure minutes and 25 minutes, because again, we're not trying to necessarily, when you get out there every possession you're trying to win, but going into these scrimmages, you're not trying to necessarily win them, you're trying to learn things about your team for November 9th. So it's useful.
And prior to your coming here, they didn't do the secret scrimmages, they played the exhibition games, throughout the tour. What was your argument, and what do you see as the advantage of playing those secret scrimmages as opposed to the exhibition?
Yeah, I mean, you could control, for us it was like, our two scrimmage, like playing two close scrimmages against like really, really quality opponent. Not playing, a glorified, a glorified exhibition. It's actually just an exhibition. It's not glorified, but it's like that becomes a pretty useless beyond just maybe some opening night jitters, but generally you don't have a huge crowd for that anyway, so you can't simulate what opening night's going to feel like, because it's a much different feel, man. It's like, it's intense opening night. So I mean, just to be able to schedule in two teams that are going to be like, or two types of styles of play that are so completely different from each other, just prepares you to see two like different things, and you could kind of like go out on the court in a close scrimmage and like you actually get a chance to coach. The refs are a lot more lenient. They'll let me like walk onto the court and like go up to a spot and say, no, you're supposed to be here. So it's a great teaching tool. And then obviously on Monday on Monday night we've got students, season ticket holders and students. We're able to come in and hopefully we can make up for the basket snafu by allowing our students back in and the season ticket holders in to give them a look.
Going forward, are you hoping to play the close scrimmages every year if the economics allow? Would you do 1-and-1?
No, I think what we would like to do, and it was obviously the COVID, is monkey wrench, but two close scrimmages and a blue-white, I think would be what we would like to do coming out of it. Probably the blue-white a little earlier. That's why with, first night, we love that. It's great to be a part of, but we want to kind of get a chance to play in front of our fans, but then get also the great tool, the teaching tool of the two close scrimmages, and kind of get everything you want there.
You can kind of like stop the action and literally just walk on the court and
Yeah.
so it's not like a
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't believe the amount of leeway that the officials gave me the other day. It was like, it's just they let me go wherever I wanted. No one really yelled at me to stop. I mean, it was like, it was awesome, man, the way I was able to bond with the three guys I had the other day. Good for our relationship.
Push for that for the regular season? Is that what you're going to do?
No, I go right where I belong when that starts.
Any particular players stand out?
Again, it's so far away from realistic game, and like none of that stuff should go public. I mean, because again, it should be kept in-house. I don't know who leaked that from. I'd imagine it was our end because I know it didn't come from Harvard's end. But like those scores shouldn't be, and you shouldn't talk about individuals, players' performance. There's no game planning. There's no scouting going in. It's not a game-like situation. So, we were happy with some things. Some other things, we were. I would say overall, I mean, you're pretty happy with what we did defensively. Offensively. We didn't finish well enough, I would say, at the rim. I wasn't happy with that. We fouled too much. So we're bringing officials in for multiple practices leading up to the opener to try to, it was mostly the guards. So, we didn't finish great at the rim. We didn't rebound as well as I would like, especially on the defensive end, and we fouled a lot.
Was that here or Hartford?
It was at XL.
It wasn't.
So,
guys have kind of come on in practice, seeing with the game approaching there. Can you see some guys kind of coming on?
Yeah, I mean, like again, overall body of work here. Like Andre's been better.
Right.
He's been more solid, which is what we need from him. He could do so many things to help this team on the backboard and defensively, and with his passing. He's probably our best post feeder, and our two best offensive players are RJ and Adama. So if you're really good at throwing the ball to Adama, you're doing well. So, yeah, I mean, he's been good, and obviously Adama and Isaiah and RJ have been consistently good. So, those wing guys, like who of those two perimeter guys is probably just again, just either I know and I'm being playful, or I don't know and just trying to create a story.
But it's starting five. Is that does that get overrated? I mean, it's really ultimately it's about minutes and
Yeah, I mean, listen, the first front court guy off the bench, if that's going to be a Cook or if that's going to be Sampson or that's going to be Richie, they're going to have a shot at starter minutes, right? And then the first guard off the bench is going to get starter minutes, and then even the second guard, the second perimeter guy off the bench, is going to get close to 20. You know, is going to be around in that range. So, you know, you want to be in the top 8. You know, and then obviously if you haven't earned the top 8, then you need to settle into the role we need you in. But yeah, and you know, the starting lineup could change. I mean, it changed last year. It changed in year 2. With Jalen getting in the lineup and eventually Book getting in the lineup and eventually Isaiah becoming a starter. So yeah, I mean, stuff is going to be in flux, especially if you're a freshman. You know, if Jordan's not quite ready now, but he is in December, or if he is ready now and he falters, you know, this competition now. This isn't the same as it was a couple of years ago.
Is Diggins injury-wise, or at least is he back playing?
Yeah, he hasn't gotten back yet, so he's close. I think he's ramped up his activity. You know, Tyler did a little bit of live yesterday, and he's going to try and do a little bit more tonight when we come back in here to try to simulate a little bit more of a night type of practice. Get these guys' bodies used to showing up and performing at night. With the referees will be in here to try to stop the fouling.
Dan, did you see that elite passing ability in Andre right when you first watched him play?
Yeah,
Thing that jumped out
yeah.
at you?
I mean, I think I do think as he matures and values the ball more and starts to really, you know, his physical gifts are so rare that unfortunately for him, he was able to get away with not being as nuanced a player coming in terms of understanding like spacing and just the finer points of basketball that he's learning now on the fly. So yeah, I mean, I think this guy's going to be a guy who has the ball in his hands a lot. He's a weapon on the defensive glass, pushing it. He's a weapon when he gets downhill. He's a guy that we can post up against smaller guards and be able to like crab dribble his way in and either finish at the rim or spray the ball around if help comes. I mean, he had to put a play up on film. He put a play out yesterday that, you know, off of rejecting a ball screen on the side yesterday, a one dribble like dunk that very few NBA players can do. So, talent's there. He's got to learn the game and just keep getting better.
Dan, the outside observers have you guys in the top 25 preseason. A lot of times the coach will say, well, we're not nowhere near that, or yeah, maybe we are. Where do you think you guys are? Is that accurate?
Yeah, we have the potential to do that. I mean, you know, enough older players and an infusion of young talent, a lot of returners. You know, we return, you know, pretty much all the players from our team that were outstanding defensively. Obviously, you know, you miss Book on the backboard on both ends and as a scorer, but you know, everyone's a year better. We're a mature team. We should be consistently, you know, we should be able to consistently have a very strong year. Everyone should know what to do, except a couple of these young guys. So, you know, we embrace that. We want to play a season of top 25 level basketball. Like that is the expectation.
Speaking of Book, I know it's ridiculously early, but what do you make of him, you know, not really getting any playing time so far?
Yeah, I mean, we talk to him. We understand. You know, it's you know, he got drafted to you know, a team with some really good players and some veteran guys. You know, like, you know, Gordon Hayward and Ball in the backcourt with Rozier when he's healthy, and the Martin twin, and who?
Bridges.
Bridges probably playing a little bit more forward there, but the guy they traded for from Golden State, Oubre. I mean, you know, they've got guys, and Ish Smith, and they're trying to make the playoffs, man. So it's like it's a long season. You know, my conversations with him were, you know, the start of your career here didn't exactly You've been in this position before. The only way, the only way to change a situation is to be the first guy in the arena every day, practice harder than anyone in the organization, be more coachable than anyone in the organization, and then stay there longer and work harder later than everyone in the organization. If you do those things, you're going to have an unbelievable NBA career, but focus on that. Don't focus on anything else. And don't be a baby.
How's Jalen looked? Jalen?
Jalen's solid. Jalen's just a, it's, what is he, what is his year going to be? Is he going to be like that really, really valuable, solid guy off the bench? Or can he be more dynamic than that and either force his way into the lineup or, become, like 28-minute game guy off the bench? I mean, at the worst with Jalen, you're getting a guy that's going to really help you win. But, does he take that next step like right now? Or does he wait till RJ graduates to do that? I hope he doesn't do that.
Among the young guys, what are the...
Oh, you have your radio show?
Yeah, we're going to do it after we're done. Yeah.
So what? All right.
I'm just
Yeah, exactly.
among the young guys, what do they do to change your mind with what they do? In other words, offense, defense, if you see something, you go, oh, he's
Yeah.
not ready
I mean,
defensively, or he's ready offense. But
It's four
do you
things.
see that stuff that early?
4 things. I mean, from an offensive standpoint, well, 5 things really. Number one, you just got to know what the hell we're doing, right, at both ends of the court. This isn't as simple as people think. There's like a philosophy and an understanding of spacing and where you need to be relative to the other 9 players at both ends of the court and when shots go up. Shot selection, ball security, right, so at the offensive end. And then at the end, overall, like defensively, like, do you understand the principles? And then, like, do you understand how hard you have to play every single possession at our level because our games are won by 1 possession, 2 possession, right? This isn't something where we're going to win. Like most of the games that we win during the course of the year, they're going to be hard fought. They're going to be 1 possession game. We win by 2, maybe we win by 4, or maybe it's a 3 possession game and we have a night off and we win by 7. So that's the level of competition that we play at here and in college basketball. So, if you have a guy that buries you sometimes in a 90-second stretch that costs you 5 points, that could cost you the game. And that's where. Do you know what we're doing? Shot selection, ball security. Do you understand how hard you have to play every single possession here? Because you could ruin it in a couple possession stretch.
You've talked about the 4s being able to hit 3s. How is that looking the last couple weeks of practice?
Yeah.
That ability?
Yeah. It wasn't successful. It wasn't as successful as we wanted. In our first competitive situation here, but we also played Harvard was a little bit smaller, so we really, when you're playing against a team smaller, obviously, we tried to really pound the ball at the front of the rim and in the paint. So, when you've got a small guarding your 4. You bring that 4 in more and try to make them pay with the smaller lineup and punish them. So it didn't really present itself that way in that first one. In practice, I think like Isaiah's got the confidence to make it. Cook, if we're going to play him at that spot a lot, he's gonna have to make some. And then obviously when you play Tyler or Tyrese there, that's not an issue.
Coach, I guess bigger picture, not necessarily last year because of COVID, but how do you feel 2 weeks ahead of the season as compared to maybe year 2 here or some of your later years at URI?
Yeah, I'm sleeping better. My general, I think I'm a lot more upbeat. I'm a lot more enjoyable to be around. And I think my wife, she notices a more confident husband. My kids see a dad who's in better spirits. I just think I'm a lot more pleasant to be around.
Starting to feel like this is sort of your program,
Yeah,
what you
yeah.
want to do and still. And
Yeah, I'm in the confidence. It's like, You know, listen, the first couple of years when you're in a place and you haven't broken through and you haven't won, you question whether you're going to win and whether you can win the types of important games that, you know, help you to break through and develop that like program confidence that people like that consistently win, like, you know, back to the AAC, if anyone really wants to go back down that road with me, but like you looked at like what Cincinnati did year in and year out in that place, in that program, right? Like they're just, even as the players changed and they lost significant pieces, like just as a program, like Mick instilled this tremendous confidence, and they were so consistent defensively and the way they rebounded that they were ensured to have like really good to great regular seasons every year because of the approach. So, you know, we're obviously confident, you know, in our approach. We're confident in the fact that everyone that's in the program we've recruited in and we've developed, and you have confidence in the fact of what the guys did last year. I mean, play all those games down the stretch of the season, and you know you can't lose any of them because, you know, you've got to get an at-large bid. It's the next natural thing you got to do, and a lot of other teams around the country were spitting the bit, man. They were blowing those games, and we were winning impressively. So yeah, I mean, obviously the Maryland game didn't go the way we wanted, and the Creighton game down the stretch didn't go the way we wanted. But the late game surge, the year before, late season surge, like we got a lot of confidence from who we've been since the end of year 2, not just last year.
You carry that into the season, and through the season, you think that mood?
Definitely. Well,
we'll see.
We'll see. I react to my last practice or the last drill. You know, I'm on everybody's ass, so